The words hung in the air like poison gas, suffocating everything good between us. "I'm going clubbing with Derek on Saturday," Maya said, not looking up from her phone. "And before you start, I'm going whether you like it or not." I stood frozen in our kitchen, the dish towel still in my hands. Derek. Her ex-boyfriend from college. The guy she'd dated for 3 years before we met. The guy whose photos she still kept buried in a box in our closet. Yes, I'd found them once while looking for our tax documents. "What did you just say?" My voice came out steady, but my heart was already racing. Maya finally looked at me, her green eyes cold in a way I'd never seen before. "You heard me, James. Derek's in town for the weekend, and we're catching up. He wants to go to that new club downtown." "Catching up? At a nightclub? With your ex?" I set down the towel carefully, my hands starting to shake. "Maya, we're married. This isn't appropriate." She laughed, actually laughed. "Oh God, here we go. The jealous husband routine. We're just friends, James. We've been friends for 10 years. I'm not asking for your permission." "Then what are you doing? Why even tell me?" "Because I'm being honest," she snapped, standing up from the table. "Unlike some people, I don't sneak around. I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. If you can't handle it, well." She shrugged, the gesture so casual it felt like a slap. "Maybe you should think about whether this marriage is right for you." I stared at my wife of 4 years, searching for the woman I'd fallen in love with. The woman who'd cried at our wedding, who'd promised to choose me every day. This stranger wearing her face seemed like someone I'd never met. "So that's it? An ultimatum? Accept you going out with your ex, or leave?" "I'm not giving you an ultimatum," Maya said, her voice dripping with condescension. "I'm just saying I'm done letting you control who I see. Derek and I have history, but that doesn't mean anything. If you trust me, this wouldn't be an issue." But trust wasn't the issue. Respect was. I couldn't sleep that night. Maya had gone to bed early, acting as if nothing had happened, while I lay on the couch replaying the conversation and suddenly seeing our marriage through different eyes. The texts that lit up her phone at midnight. "Just work stuff," she'd said. The new lingerie I'd found in her drawer last month. Black lace, expensive, tag still on, that she'd never worn for me. I bought it for myself. Women can do that, you know. The gym membership she'd gotten 3 months ago, coming home glowing and energized, smelling of cologne that definitely wasn't mine. The trainers wear it. Stop being paranoid. The business trip to Miami where her hotel room had 2 beds. They messed up the reservation. What was I supposed to do, sleep on the floor? The gradual distance between us, her body turning away from mine in bed, her kisses becoming perfunctory pecks, her laughter reserved for her phone screen instead of our conversations. I'd ignored every red flag, trusting her because that's what marriage meant. But trust without respect is just willful blindness. At 2 a.m., I got up and opened her laptop. I knew her password. We'd always shared everything. Or so I thought. Her Facebook messages loaded instantly. Derek's name appeared immediately, their conversation thread going back 6 months. My stomach turned as I scrolled. "Can't wait to see you Saturday. It's been too long. I've missed you so much. These past months reconnecting with you have reminded me of what real connection feels like. Remember that night at the Regency? Best night of my life. Maybe we can recreate it." Maya's responses made my blood run cold. I think about that night constantly. James doesn't touch me like you did. Saturday can't come soon enough. I'll wear that black dress you always loved. I know we shouldn't, but I can't help how I feel. Being with you feels right. I closed the laptop, my hands trembling. The black dress. The one hanging in our closet that I'd never seen her wear. She'd bought it 2 weeks ago, telling me it was for a work function that had been cancelled. There was no work function. There never had been. She wasn't going clubbing with Derek as old friends. She was going on a date with her ex while her husband sat at home like a fool. Friday morning arrived with cruel sunshine streaming through our windows. Maya hummed in the shower, oblivious or uncaring that she demolished our marriage with her laptop confessions. I'd spent the night making decisions. At 9 a.m., I called Mitchell Harris, the best divorce attorney in the city. My college roommate had used him during his divorce, ruthless, efficient, and discreet. By noon, I was sitting in his office, a leather portfolio in front of me. Infidelity is grounds for fault divorce in this state, Mitchell explained, his silver hair gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Those messages are damning. We can have papers ready by Monday. Given what you've told me about the asset distribution, the house was your inheritance, correct? This should be relatively clean. I want it done fast, I said. Before she realizes what's happening. Consider it done. I left his office and went directly to the bank. Maya and I had a joint account, but I also had my separate business account she rarely checked. I transferred my half of our joint savings to my business account, then opened a new personal account at a different bank. Legal, clean, and necessary. Next stop, my brother's apartment. Chris took one look at my face and pulled me inside. She's cheating, I said without preamble. I have proof. I'm filing for divorce. Chris, ever the protective older brother, cracked his knuckles. Want me to have a conversation with Derek? No. I want you to help me move my stuff out tomorrow night while she's at the club. His expression shifted from anger to respect. Smart. Hit her where it hurts, her ego. She thinks she's got you wrapped around her finger. Not anymore. That evening, Maya was particularly affectionate, probably guilt manifesting as attention. She curled up next to me on the couch, her hand on my thigh, her perfume, the expensive one, filling my nose. You've been quiet, she said. Are you still mad about tomorrow? I looked at her, this woman I'd loved so completely, and felt nothing but cold resolve. I've been thinking. And? You're right. You should go tomorrow. Have fun. Her eyes widened with surprise, then narrowed with suspicion. Really? Just like that? Really? I smiled, and it didn't even feel forced. I trust you, Maya. You're right, I've been too controlling. Go see Derek. Catch up. Enjoy yourself. She searched my face, looking for the trap, but I'd had hours to perfect this mask. Finally, she smiled, triumphant, relieved, eager. Thank you, baby. She kissed me, her lips soft against mine, and I wondered if Derek's lips had touched us already. This means so much to me. I know it does. That night, she initiated intimacy for the first time in months, her body pressed against mine with desperate passion, as if she were trying to absolve her guilt through physical connection. Saturday evening, Maya spent 3 hours getting ready. I watched from the doorway as she transformed herself, the black dress that hugged every curve, the heels that made her legs look endless, the makeup applied with precision, the perfume that cost more than our monthly grocery bill. How do I look? She asked, twirling in front of the mirror. Beautiful, I said honestly. Derek's a lucky guy. Something flickered in her expression. Shame? Excitement? But it vanished quickly. James, we're just friends. I know. Have a wonderful time. She kissed me goodbye, her lips tasting of the wine she'd had for courage, and I watched her drive away in the Uber, probably not wanting me to see her pick Derek up. The moment her taillights disappeared, I called Chris. She's gone. Come now. My brother arrived with 2 friends and a U-Haul. We worked with military precision. My clothes, my books, my gaming equipment, the furniture I'd brought into the marriage, the photos of my family, everything that was mine disappeared from that house in 4 hours. I left behind the furniture we'd bought together, the wedding photos on the walls, the kitchen supplies, the throw pillows she'd insisted would make the house a home. I left everything that represented us, because there was no us anymore. But I took one thing that wasn't technically mine. I printed out her Facebook messages with Derek and left them on the kitchen table, highlighted in yellow marker. The most damning lines practically glowed in the overhead light. Next to the messages, I left a note written in my steadiest handwriting. Maya, you gave me an ultimatum, accept your relationship with Derek or leave. I choose to leave. You're right that you don't need my permission to see him. You also don't need to be married to me to pursue whatever this is. Consider yourself free. Divorce papers will be served Monday morning. My attorney will contact yours. The house was my inheritance, so you'll need to find new accommodation. You have 30 days. I hope Derek was worth it. James. P.S. I printed your messages in case you try to gaslight me about what you've done. I have copies. I stood in the empty living room one last time, keys to the house on the kitchen counter beside my wedding ring. 4 years of marriage ended in a few hours of packing. Somehow, that felt appropriate. Maya's first call came at 11:47 p.m. I was at Chris's apartment, my phone lighting up repeatedly on his coffee table. I didn't answer. Neither did I answer the second, third, or 15th call. The texts started coming in around midnight. Where are you? Answer your phone. This isn't funny. We need to talk about this. It's not what you think. Derek and I didn't do anything wrong. How dare you go through my private messages? You're overreacting. Please come home so we can discuss this like adults. I turned my phone off and went to sleep in Chris's guest room, the first peaceful sleep I'd had in months. Sunday morning brought 47 missed calls and 89 text messages. I turned my phone back off. Monday, Mitchell's process server delivered the divorce papers to Maya at her office, exactly as planned. The public humiliation was intentional. She'd humiliated me for months with her affair, letting me play the fool while she reconnected with her ex. By Monday evening, the mutual friend calls started. Ashley, Maya's best friend from college, was first. James. Maya is devastated. She made a mistake. Can't you two work this out? Did she tell you she was planning to sleep with Derek on Saturday? Silence. Did she tell you they've been emotionally cheating for 6 months? That she told him I don't touch her the way he did? That she bought lingerie and a dress specifically for their date? She said you were controlling. I gave her permission to go, Ashley. She thought she'd come home to a fight. Instead, she came home to consequences. There's a difference. She hung up. My parents were next. My mother, ever the optimist about love, tried to counsel forgiveness. My father, who'd met Maya twice and never warmed to her, simply said, "Proud of you, son. A man who doesn't respect himself can't expect anyone else to." By Wednesday, Maya showed up at Chris's apartment. He called me at work. She's outside crying in her car. What do you want me to do? Nothing. She'll leave eventually. She did, after 2 hours of sitting there, probably hoping I'd see her through the window and come running out to comfort her. The social media fallout was predictable. Maya posted vague statuses about toxic relationships and controlling partners. Our mutual friends divided cleanly. Those who knew both sides supported me. Those who only knew Maya's version sided with her. I didn't post anything. I didn't need to defend myself to strangers. Derek, interestingly, vanished from her social media entirely within a week. Apparently, when faced with the reality of being with Maya instead of the fantasy of an affair, he'd lost interest. Or maybe his wife, yes, he was married too, something Maya had conveniently failed to mention, had found out about their reconnect. 6 weeks later, the divorce was final. Maya contested nothing after Mitchell presented the printed messages and threatened to make them public record in court. She moved into a one-bedroom apartment across town and stopped contacting me. I heard through the grapevine that she told people I'd abandoned her over one mistake, that I'd been too rigid to work on the marriage. That narrative might have worked, except too many people had heard the real story by then. The last message I ever received from Maya came 3 months after the divorce was finalized. "I'm sorry, James. You deserved better than what I did to you. I hope you find someone who appreciates you the way I should have." I read it once, then deleted it without responding. Some apologies come too late. Some betrayals are too complete to merit engagement. She'd made her choice that night. She told me I could leave if I didn't like her seeing Derek. I'd simply agreed. My only regret is that I didn't choose myself sooner. But when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And when someone gives you an ultimatum that disrespects your marriage, understand that they've already left. They're just waiting for you to notice. I noticed. I left. I chose self-respect over ultimatums. And I've never looked back.